In today's episode, we'll be sharing the shocking truth behind the downfall of Lil Meech, and you'd better believe me when I say this is all shades of insane. Y'all won't believe what 50 Cent had to say about his homeboy. Turns out that Lil Meech is going broke. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would an actor who was literally glued to 50 Cent's side up until earlier this year go broke? After all, if 50 Cent is known for something, it's for making money out of anything and anyone. I'll fill you in real quick, but before I do that, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. So here's the scope. Lil Meech got thrown out like Thanksgiving leftovers because he stabbed 50 in the back by siding with his enemy. But here's where things went south. It turns out that 50's enemy is none other than Big Meech, Lil Meech's dad. Now y'all are probably wondering why Big Meech and 50 Cent had bad blood in the first place. Let me take y'all on a quick walk round memory lane. It all dates back to the 80s, when Meech and his little brother Terry started moving drugs, and I'm not talking about the regular kind that gets prescribed at the hospital. I'm talking of the hard ones. Anyway, the cops started suspecting that things were happening in the background. So that's when Meech and Terry decided to create BMF Entertainment. Sure, it looked like any other legit business, but in reality it was just a cover for their drug empire, which was now running through Michigan, Georgia, Florida, California, and Louisiana. After several decades, in October 2003, the cops finally caught up, and it didn't take long for Big Meech to switch his trademark designers to an orange jumpsuit. Fast forward to 2021, and 50 Cent decided to do something crazy. Guess what he did? He picked Big Meech's son, Lil Meech, from the trenches and decided to turn him into a movie star. I mean, who am I kidding? He even took him to acting school. But when 50 Cent decided to make him a star, guess which series he was cast in? A TV show titled BMF. And here's where it gets crazier. It was exposing Big Meech for everything he's done. So of course, Big Meech didn't take this lightly. I mean, who am I kidding? 50 Cent was making his son a millionaire, and he wasn't even getting royalties. The son of a gun. Meanwhile, Lil Meech was so thankful to 50 at that point. He kept talking about he literally had no sense of direction without 50, and he was basically lost until he found him. You get my quip.
I never actually pictured myself being an actor.
Really?
You know, it was thrown in my lap. And I went to acting school, 50 Cent invested in me, and I loved it, and I was comfortable.
And the money? Oh, 50 was making sure Lil Meech ate good, cutting him a fat $5 million per season for BMF. But instead of stacking his bread, Meech was out here living like a rapper, blowing racks on jewelry, flexing for the gram, and dropping $10K on a single pair of pants, like the money was never going to stop. In a 2023 clip, he even admitted he spent $500,000 on a chain. Yeah, $500,000 just on some ice. And after all that cash...
It's a different type of craftsmanship that he does. Elliot charged me $200,000 just for this Cuban. This Cuban is like 1,100 grams. It's chunky, real big.
Not a single investment in sight. Then everything took a sharp turn. The moment Big Meech got out of jail, things got complicated. See, 50 and Rick Ross, they've been beefing for years. Like oil and water, they just don't mix. But despite that, Big Meech still linked up with Ross. And 50? Oh, he felt played. After all, he was the one making sure Lil Meech's pockets stayed full while his pops was locked up. So when he saw Meech getting a little too cozy with his ops, he shut it all down. His son canceled, BMF canceled, The checks stopped. And just like that, Lil Meech was out in the cold. And you know it was real when 50 hit that unfollow button on Instagram. That's when Lil Meech slid into his DMs, practically begging. They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you're managing Skilla Baby with Rocket when I was the one who brought him around you first, before you even knew who he was. Now you're mad at me when I would take the shirt off my back for you? I can't believe this, man. You act like I'm your enemy when all I've ever shown you is love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own solist, but I never switched up on you. Fuck Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he could afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet set is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life. Who? The desperation is real. And let's be real. This ain't the first time 50 has cut somebody off without a second thought. But this one hit different. Because for a long time, 50 really treated Lil Meech like family. Heck, he didn't even go this hard for his own biological son, Marquise. But the second Big Meech stepped back in the picture, everything changed. Now Lil Meech is out here trying to prove he don't need 50. But let's be real. Does he actually have a solid plan? Or is he just out here looking lost? Because one thing we do know about 50, when he cuts you off, it's a wrap. No takebacks. After Lil Meech realized that 50 had cut him off, the next thing he did was post a picture of himself with Big Meech, Rick Ross, and Floyd Mayweather with the caption, "Real bosses move in silence, but we let y'all hear us whisper." Now, if that ain't a direct shot at 50, I don't know what is. Because let's be real, Floyd and 50 been going at it for years. And Ross, well, we already know how deep that beef goes. So the fact that Lil Meech was standing there, cheesing like he just won the lottery, had folks scratching their heads like, bruh, do you even know what game you're playing? But here's where it gets even wilder. 50 wasn't done applying pressure. In typical 50 fashion, he hopped on IG and basically clowned the whole situation. And listen, the internet did what the internet does best. Ran with it. The jokes were flying left and right. Folks started calling Meech Lil Broke Meech, talking about he went from a lead actor to working the door at a strip club. It was getting ugly. And instead of laying low, Lil Meech just kept doubling down, trying to flex like everything was all good. But the more he popped up in pics with celebrities, the more people started side-eyeing him. At one point, he was spotted courtside with Floyd Mayweather at a Knicks-Lakers game, looking real cozy in that "I need a sponsor" energy. Yeah, the streets were not convinced. But Lil Meech kept trying to act like he was unbothered. He posted a video on IG, flashing some cash and saying, "Y'all must have forgotten who my pops is. Money ain't never been an issue." But see, that's the thing. People weren't buying it. Because let's keep it a buck. If he really had it like that, why was he out here flexing ones and fives? And why was his ex, Summer Walker, out here throwing shade at dudes who don't know how to handle their money? That's when folks really started digging, and what they found, oh, it was messy. Rumors started swirling that Lil Meech's financial situation was so shaky, he had to start selling off some of his jewelry just to keep up appearances. Word on the street is that he offloaded a few of his iced-out pieces to a private buyer in Atlanta. And just when you thought the drama couldn't get any deeper, guess who had something to say? Wack 100. Y'all know Wack don't ever hold his tongue. And he was on Clubhouse talking real reckless about the whole situation. And listen, if Wack 100 saying it, you already know it's about to be a whole mess. Because now people started wondering, Was Lil Meech really getting the same type of love and financial backing from Ross and Floyd? Or was he just being used as a pawn in their never-ending beef with 50? At this point, it's looking real grim for Lil Meech. He went from starring in one of the biggest TV shows under one of the biggest moguls in the game to being clowned by the internet in record time. And the saddest part? Big Meech is out here co-signing all of it. Instead of telling his son to chill and move smart, he's out here hyping him up, talking about loyalty over everything. But let's be real. Loyalty don't pay bills. And 50? Oh, he already made it clear. Ain't no coming back from this. He cut ties, burned the bridge, and set the ashes on fire. So now the question is, where does Lil Meech go from here? Does he double down on this new alliance with Ross and Floyd? Or does he realize he fumbled the biggest bag of his life and try to find a way to rebuild? Because if there's one thing we know for sure, it's this. When 50 says you're done, you're done. And right now, Lil Meech might just be the latest example of what happens when you cross Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. But what do you think? Was Lil Meech wrong for siding his old man? Is he a snake for trying to throw his father under the bus just to make money from 50? Or is this all just some PR stunt orchestrated by 50? After all, he did treat Lil Meech like his son. But let me know what y'all think in the comments section below. In our next episode, we'll be sharing more details on the messy truth behind Lil Meech and his father's massive drug empire. And believe me, you won't want to miss out on this one. So make sure you subscribe now and smash the bell icon so you can get an instant update on new episodes. And believe me, it's about to get real.